Welcome to Awakening Heaven on Earth. Before we begin, take a moment to arrive. There is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to believe, and nowhere you need to go. Simply listen, contemplate, and notice what stirs and resonates within you. This is a shared space of reflection, presence, and remembrance. Now, let us begin. Welcome to this episode focused on unity in relationship, sacred text references. In this episode, we listen to sacred wisdom on love, relationship, fear, mercy, and unity. Not simply to understand love, but to remember how to live it. Let each passage become a mirror. Let each teaching open the heart. Let each reflection invite you to love without separation. Let us begin. In Christianity, in 1 John chapter 4, verse 18, there is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear. The wisdom of this passage is fear in relationship often appears as control, attachment, or the need to protect ourselves from loss. But love in its truest form does not grasp. It releases. It does not bind. It frees. To love without separation is to allow fear to soften in the presence of something deeper. So let's reflect a moment. Where in your relationships is fear shaping how you love? What would it feel like to let love replace fear in this moment? In Judaism, in the Song of Songs, chapter 8, verse 6, place me like a seal over your heart, for love is as strong as death. The insight provided in this text is, this is not a fragile love. It is not temporary, conditional, or dependent on form. True love is not something we preserve through control. It is something eternal that we recognize and honor. To love without separation is to trust that real love is not lost when circumstances change. So consider, do you trust love as something enduring? Or do you try to secure it through control? In Islam, in the Quran, chapter 30, verse 21, and among his signs is this, that he created for you mates, and he put between you love and mercy. The wisdom here is love and mercy belong together. Mercy is the space we give one another to be human, to grow, to change, to be imperfect and still belong. Unity in relationship does not demand perfection. It practices compassion. Consider, where can you bring more mercy into your relationships? Where can you soften instead of judge? In Buddhism, in the Dhammapada, hatred is never appeased by hatred, but by love alone is hatred appeased. The wisdom here is, when we react to pain with more pain, we deepen separation. When we answer fear with fear, we strengthen the wall. But love interrupts the cycle. Love does not mean allowing harm. It means refusing to become the same energy that wounded us. Unity in relationship begins when we choose presence over reaction. Based on this, where are you reacting instead of responding? What would love look like here? In Hinduism, in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 9, the yogi looks upon all equally, friends, enemies, and strangers, with an impartial heart. The insights here are, An impartial heart is not cold, it is clear. It sees beyond roles, labels, preferences, and wounds. Friend, enemy, stranger. These are temporary names placed upon people that contain the same divine life. To love without separation is to recognize the sacred essence beneath every form. So now, can you see beyond roles and labels and recognize the same divine life in every person? In Taoism, in the Tao Te Ching, chapter 49, the sage has no fixed mind. He takes the mind of the people as his mind. The wisdom in this is the sage is open, not rigid, not defended, not trapped in the need to be right. Unity in relationship requires spaciousness, the ability to listen without immediately defending, to receive without needing to control, to be with another without forcing them into our own image. Consider, where can you release rigidity and become more open in how you relate? In Christian mysticism, in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 20, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I among them. The insight here is relationship is sacred space. When 2 hearts meet in love, presence becomes visible. The divine is not only found in solitude, the divine is also revealed in the space between us. Unity in relationship is not simply personal connection, it is holy encounter. Ponder this question. How might your relationships change if you treated each encounter as sacred space? in indigenous wisdom. The saying, mitakuye o yasing, or, in other words, all my relations, the wisdom here is that relationship is not limited to family, partners, or friends. All life is relationship. The earth, the waters, the animals, the ancestors, the stranger. All belong within the circle. To love without separation is to widen the circle of belonging until nothing is outside of love. So consider, who or what have you placed outside your circle of belonging? How might love invite you to widen that circle? As we gather these teachings together, a deeper truth begins to emerge. Across traditions, across cultures, across time, the message is the same. Love is not possession. Love is not control. Love is not fear. Love is recognition. The recognition that what you see in another is not separate from you. So before you move on, pause here for just a moment. Think of someone in your life, someone you love, someone you struggle with, or someone you do not yet understand. See them gently, not as a role, not as a problem, not as someone to fix, change, hold, or fear. But as another expression of the same life that lives in you. Let that soften something. Let it loosen the grip. Let it open the heart. This does not mean you abandon boundaries. It does not mean you lose yourself. It means you remember that love and truth can live together. Compassion and clarity can live together. Freedom and connection can live together. This is unity in relationship. To love with open hands to stand rooted in yourself, to honor the sacred in another. And to remember again and again that love is not something you lose. Love is what you are. As we come to a close, remember that this journey continues in many expressions. This podcast is part of a family of partner podcasts. Awakening Heaven on Earth. The space between heaven and earth and Living Heaven on Earth are 3 companion podcasts exploring spiritual awakening from complementary perspectives. Awakening Heaven on Earth offers the core teachings and mystical reflections on unity, love, and conscious living. The space between creates room for dialogue, reflection, and lived conversation around those teachings. Living Heaven on Earth focuses on basic spiritual practices that help embody these insights in daily life. Together, they form a unified journey of understanding, experience, and integration, inviting listeners to remember their connection with the divine, with one another, and with the living world. You can find all of them available on the same podcast streaming platforms wherever you listen. And if music helps carry these teachings deeper into the heart, the Unity, Awakening Heaven on Earth album is available on all major music streaming services as a musical companion to this journey. Wherever you engage, through listening, reflection, conversation, or music, may it gently remind you you are not separate. You belong to the one life, and heaven is already unfolding within you. Until next time, walk gently, love deeply, and embody heaven on earth.